Hello, everyone. So first, definitely want to apologize if you hear birds and bees and everything in the background. Like, I'm gonna just be the first to tell you these walls are thin and you can basically hear everything from the outside. Also, yeah, I don't know what it is. Birds just love to gather in this general vicinity. I'm always scaring them off because they always want to be right up against the window while I'm trying to work. And it's just like, I didn't think I was Ella Enchanted. You know what I mean? I really want to apologize for missing last week's video. I'm the type of person, I tend to put a lot on my plate. I tend to put too much on my plate and get to the point where I'm constantly overwhelming myself with all of these tasks and decisions and yada yada that I constantly have to be making. It gets to the point sometimes where it's like, sometimes I have too much on my plate where I just don't do nothing. Like, am I the only one? Do y'all get like that too? Like, y'all have a lot going on and you have all these tasks on your list and you kind of get really overwhelmed, so you just end up doing nothing. But it's not even like you're trying not to do nothing. It's just that you just end up like just not doing anything. And then it's weird because like I have this constant need to constantly be productive. Like, if I'm not being productive, I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Like, I can't just watch TV, Like, if I'm gonna watch TV, I might as well also crochet. Like, I've been crocheting since I was 12. And crochet used to be the thing that I picked up just, for pleasure, like something light to do, something entertaining when, I had time and was done with everything else, but didn't necessarily feel like reading a book or watching TV. Now I feel like I might as well be picking up an elephant because the pressure is too much. It's too much. Sometimes I feel like I just don't even know how to crochet anymore. I feel like I've just lost my juice. I've lost my spark. And that's hard to contend with. But I figured, like, while I'm sitting here, I feel like I can't be the only one who feels, burnt out, even while doing a creative project, even while doing something that, I honestly really love. And I figured, you know what? I'm not in the mood to crochet right now, but I am in the mood to talk about kind of just the thoughts that have been rolling around in my head. And so I have a little list here on my iPad. So if I keep looking down, that's why. Here's a list of reasons why I feel like I'm burning out. And maybe you can relate to these reasons. And then hopefully we can come up together with some strategies or takeaways that we can use to get our time back. So let's get into it. So the first reason why I feel like I'm burning out so much and so quickly, even while doing a creative project, is because I feel like I have no control over my own time. Now, I think that part of this really stems from the transition of being a student to being now in the workforce and working the 9 to 5. As a student, like, obviously I had to go to classes, but I was able to manipulate the classes to a particular schedule. And now that I have a full-time job that literally encapsulates all of my time from 9 to 5 in peak daytime hour, especially when it starts getting to them Chicago winters and the sun is down by 4, like, I literally, don't have the time. And so now I'm squeezing all of the work that I need to be doing over the weekends, but I'm so burnt out by my 9 to 5 job, trying to fit stuff in the evenings, that by the time I get to the weekend, like, I have nothing left in me. So I feel like I need to get back to those windows. I need to get back to that time blocking where I'm not only just blocking in time for work and in time for my side hustle, but I'm also blocking in time to relax, to be social, to honestly do nothing, so that I don't get to the point where like I'm doing nothing and I'm feeling bad about it because I'm just exhausted. Reason number 2, and this really coincides with reason number 1. I mean, all of these reasons really coincide with each other. But reason number 2 is that I'm lying to myself. Yep, I said it. I'm lying to myself. And I'm really lying to myself about how much I can actually do in a given amount of time. One thing that I've really noticed about myself is when I'm like, okay, let's work on this today, I really underestimate how much time it's going to take me to do, especially when I'm working on a crochet project. Tell me why I really think I can crochet a whole cardigan in a day, which is already absurd. But I think that I can crochet a whole cardigan in a day on the same day where I'm working a 9 to 5 job. That's what I really be thinking sometimes, y'all. Like, that's my mind. That's what my mind believes. I know it's absurd. It truly is absurd. There are two things I think I can do to help solve this problem. Obviously, I need to stop lying to myself. I need to be realistic with myself in terms of how much I'm able to do. And I get to know how much I'm able to do by trying to track my time and see how long it takes me to do certain tasks. Like, one thing that I definitely should do is I should definitely start tracking how long it takes me to make specific garments, like literally to the T. Because one, I need to know the exact time for pricing purposes. But also two, if I can time how long it takes me to do tasks, then I can better time block. So for example, if I'm trying to time block and I'm like, okay, from 9 to 2, we're gonna finish this crochet project, but I actually don't finish until 5. Well, that's a whole chunk of time that I literally, of break time that I literally am pushing to the side because I feel like I was lying to myself about how much I'm actually realistically able to do. Reason number 3, I'm basically slapping myself in the face. Yes, like that. Now, what I mean by this is that I'm not being kind to myself. So when I'm working on a crochet project and, ask my sisters, ask my boyfriend, ask any of these people, and they'll tell you whenever I finish a project, I usually don't like it right away. Also, when I'm like working on a project, like in real time, I'm always very iffy about how it's gonna turn out. And I'm like, man, I don't think this is gonna turn out good. A lot of it is me just doubting my own abilities. Like I said, like I feel like part of me, especially as of recently, I feel like I just forgot how to crochet. And I'm beginning to realize it's not that I forgot how to crochet. I really can't forget how to crochet. I crochet so often. It's more so that I'm just a lot harder on myself now than when I was. Not when I first started, but like at least when I first started my Instagram account. When I first started my Instagram account, I was making garments for fun. It was the pandemic, so I also had a multitude amount of time on my hands. And I wasn't stressing myself out about what I was making, especially because a lot of the things that I was making, I was just making for myself. So if I messed up, it was like, whatever, I'm gonna wear it. I don't care. But now there's a lot more pressure that I place on myself. And as a result, I'm not being kind to myself. I beat myself up whenever I make a mistake. So when a crochet project doesn't come out how I want it to come out, or when I constantly have to frog the project, even when I'm working on a work assignment and I spend a lot of hours on it and it doesn't come out right, I'm just like, what? And I think that's the hard part about doing your passion as a business or as a job, or even just doing it generally sometimes is, you have these expectations and you want it to be good and you want the outcome to be good. And when it's not good, it hurts a little bit more because that's so much time that you spent on it. In addition, I'm not taking breaks. I'll work on a project, it'll suck in my eyes. I'll frog it and I'll just go right back to doing it, and then it'll still suck and I'll have to frog it again. And it's this never-ending process that leads to the creative process just dragging more because I'm stuck in this negative mindset. And so how can I change this mindset? I should definitely begin being kinder to myself so I don't finish a project on time or as scheduled. So, it comes out a little wonky. I need to learn to say, oh, well. I need to learn to take a step back in those moments and be like, Dinah, what you need is a break. Put the crochet project away, put the passion project away, put your computer away, and do nothing. Honestly, do nothing. And I actually did this the other day. I was working on a project. It did not come out good. Oh no, it's not that it didn't come out good. It didn't fit. That was the problem. I finished the project. It didn't fit. I was so devastated. So I stepped back. I took a break, watched some YouTube videos, and then I came back. I undid it, came with a new game plan, and just, oh my God, crocheted away. And guess what? It fit. It fit. And I felt so much more content. And so I think part of the creative process is learning that, it takes time, especially when I'm creating something new. I need to give myself the space to make mistakes. It's a trial and error process. And so it's very normal in the designing process for it to not come out perfectly the first time. And so that's another thing that, I got to make sure that, one, I'm time blocking, but also just being more realistic and kinder to myself about. Reason numero cuatro. I'm not exercising. I am sitting hunched over for hours, crocheting for hours. My hands are cramping, but it's not stopping me, and I just keep going. And so then I'll get to the end of the day, or I'll get to the next day, and my hands are literally fried and I can't do anything. I need to stretch. I need to, I need to take breaks, and I need to make sure that I'm continuously, and I need to make sure that I'm continuously stretching and taking care of my body. As a creative, it's very important that I'm not just sitting holed up in my room working all of the time. I need to stretch. I need to get up. I need to move, because obviously, in order to take care of my mind, I need to take care of my health, and I need to take care of myself. If my body is in good shape, then I can work longer, work smarter, and get a lot more done than I am now physically able and capable to do. So if you have any suggestions on like different stretches I can do for my hands, or even for my posture, or even like different, just like fun exercises, okay? Like fun. Like when I say I need to exercise more, I'm not saying I'm trying to get in the gym, okay? I am not a gym girly right now. Maybe one day I will be, but baby steps. Reason number 5, my phone is my crutch. Growing up, I didn't have a phone. When I finally got a phone, my sisters and I had to share it. The 3 of us shared one phone. And the only thing that phone did was like text and call. But that was back in the day of minutes. It was very, if you was there back in the day, then you know how it was. When I was younger, I spent a lot of time in the real world, like interacting and having fun with my sisters. I lived in a strict household, so like I wasn't going out and hanging out with people and stuff like that. But like I was just more present in the everyday. And now that we've entered this more digital world, and especially because I started my business, okay? Before I started my business, I still had an old phone. Yes, even when I started college, I still had an old phone. It wasn't until I started my business where I had to be more active on social media that, I upgraded to the iPhone and was on it a lot more constantly. And so I've just really begun to come to the realization that constantly being on my phone, and I'm sure this is a realization that a lot of y'all have come to as well, is honestly, it's incredibly draining. And so even in those moments where I'm not actively working on my passion, I'll be on my iPhone and I'll be scrolling and I'll be looking at my follower accounts, or I'm checking my emails, or I'm checking my DMs, or I'm looking at other, accounts, especially other crochet accounts, or other accounts that are just, doing a darn thing in the entrepreneurial space, or just being freaking creative as heck. On the one side, it's like very cool to see, what I'm saying? Like it's very, very, very cool to see. And it's opened me up to a whole world that I wasn't exposed to before. But then on the other hand, it's a lot of information that I'm constantly inputting to my head. And again, it becomes overwhelming. And, even when I'm on my phone and it's not necessarily work or crochet related, like even when I'm just scrolling through and trying to look at videos for fun, it just becomes exhausting after a while. I just find myself consumed by the lives of other people when I already have a very overwhelming and full life on my own. It definitely comes to a point where it's information overload, and it definitely affects how creative I can be and how much I'm actually able to do. What can I do to be more present in the right now? Maybe I should read a book. Maybe I should go for a walk, go for a bike ride. Do something that's out there in the world instead of on here on my phone, especially if you're also like a crocheter or, you're an artist who has their work on social media and do have to be on social media in order to sustain your following and to sustain your business. And it really does have an influence on how passionate you are about the work that you're doing when you're constantly in this digital space. And so I think it's very important for us all, for me especially, to try and strike a balance where obviously I can get the work done that I need to get done, but not at the expense of my mental health. And the sixth and final reason is I'm not happy. I'm not happy. And I think that is the real kicker. That is the hardest thing for me to come to realization, is that in working in my passion, I'm not feeling fulfilled. And that's not how a passion should feel, right? One of the major realizations that I came to was I'm not happy because I'm constantly thinking about where I want to be and the fact that I'm not there right now. As a result, it gives me a lot of anxiety. It makes me feel like I'm constantly behind, and therefore triggers that constant working, that constant trying to push forth when my mind and my body and my spirit just can't do it anymore. Again, I'm putting too much pressure on myself, and I'm letting it make me miss out on all of the amazing people and opportunities and things that I've already been able to do. For example, I graduated college, and I feel like I've yet to really celebrate that. I think graduating college is a big feat for everyone, to be honest. I was walking, where was I walking? Oh yeah, I was walking across campus, and I was in my U Chicago sweater shirt. There was a black man just chilling on one of the benches, and he saw me walk by, and he was like, I'm proud of you. I was like, oh. And he was like, no, like seriously, I'm really proud of you. And I was like, thank you. And that meant so much. Because the fact of the matter is that not only did I graduate college as a first generation low income student with no debt. Not only did I graduate from a prestigious university, but I graduated from a university, which most universities, all the universities, that did not let Black people, did not let people of color, did not let women enter those walls. And I graduated, on the dean's list with honors as a Black, low income woman from the South Side. I did that. I beat and defied the odds. And very similarly, like with crocheting, the fact that I'm able to even think about doing something like that's more in this creative space and even attempt to try to make that my full-time career. It's honestly a privilege, and it's a privilege that I've worked hard for. And I think there's more and more moments like that I continue to forget to celebrate how far I've come. And so, very similarly, like I've come so far with my crochet business. I started off low pressure, didn't have any followers, to now being at almost 11,000 followers, having designed stuff for, different celebrities, my work being in, some major, like the Chicago Tribune on BET. And, I'm saying this out loud right now, and I'm like, that's a lot. But then there's still those moments where I'm like, man, like I suck, man, like I'm not doing enough, man, why aren't I just there yet? But I can never be there. I'm here. I've come so far. Being honest with myself and coming to these realizations, I have so much to be proud of. And I look forward to the future. But while I look forward to the future, I remain really grateful for where I am now and the things that I'm doing now. And that's That's growth. So yes, that is all. Thank y'all so much for listening to, my rants and my lists. Like, if there's anything that I said that y'all related to, please comment below. I really loved the talking video I did a few weeks ago and seeing all of your comments and your stories. And so let's continue the conversation below. What is your creative projects or passions? Are you also in the process of monetizing them or trying to make them your full career? Or even if it's just something that you know that you want to continue to do on the side, what are your feelings around it? And how are y'all dealing with burnout, And so let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked this video. There will definitely be more videos coming. Now, if y'all don't see a video next week, that's because Dinah decided to say, oh, well, we didn't get it in, because the month of October is very, very busy. It's very, very busy for me. So if I'm a bit flaky with posting in the month of October, please do forgive me. But once we get past that month, y'all, I'm gonna have a lot of content coming out. I'm constantly recording stuff behind the scenes, so y'all will all be caught up eventually. But until next time, I hope y'all have a wonderful week. And I'll see y'all when I see y'all. Bye.
Nothing like your smile